Oh yeah. Ooh, there we go. Oh, that's a lot of fun on that spinning rod. Oh yeah. Oh, loving it. Ooh, that's a big fish. Oh boy. That's a nice fish. He's pulling me all around this buoy here. Oh, that's a nice big fish. Power bait, man. Whoa, buddy. Oh, that's a big rainbow right there. That's probably 5 pounds.
Trout rods, salmon rods, striper rods, halibut rods, downrigger rods, lead core rods, spinning rods, and more. If you want a high quality, high performance rod that won't let you down out on the water, go to fishhuntshoot.com and check out our selection of high quality, high performance fishing rods. Howdy folks, Kel Kellogg here. Yesterday I promised we were going to talk about spinning tackle, and that's just what we're going to do today. Let's talk about spinning gear. Today, in 2020, most guys, most trout and kokanee anglers and landlocked, king anglers, we are all obsessed with level wind bait casting reels. Most guys love line counter reels, some don't, but we're all obsessed with bait caster reels, for trolling. And as a result, spinning gear has kind of been left behind. We kind of look at spinning gear like, kind of the second place tackle, stuff that's not super well suited to trolling, stuff that's kind of suited for the novice angler. But as I said in yesterday's video, there was a time when spinning reels were hot stuff. They were a game changer for guys in the 1930s and 1940s because compared to bait casting gear, spinning gear has several advantages. One, it's a lot easier to cast with than it is with a bait caster. Let's face it, I can throw a bait caster. I know a lot of you guys can throw a bait caster, but at the end of the day, there's a learning curve. Not such a big learning curve with the spinning reel. Grab the line with your finger, turn the bail, make your cast, you know the deal. So that's a big advantage of spinning gear over bait casting gear. It's easier to cast with, and it is much easier to throw super light lures with a spinning rod than it is with a bait caster. So ease of casting light lures, those are two big advantages. Disadvantages include these reels are not as powerful as bait casters. They're also very prone to line twist. A couple ways you can twist your line with a spinning reel. One, you make a cast and you use the reel handle to flip the bail. That's going to put a twist in your line. Every time you do that, 100 casts, 100 twists, pretty soon your line's all twisted up. The other way you can twist your line with a spinning reel, you got a fish on now and the fish is running. With a conventional gear, I always advise the people on my boat, no matter what the fish does, I want you to keep working the reel. If the fish runs against a conventional reel, nothing adverse happens to the line. The angler can't gain line, and line may actually pay out of the reel, but the line isn't being twisted or abused. The opposite is true with spinning gear. If you have a fish that's running against the drag, or he's just holding against the drag and you can't gain line, but you continue reeling, that bail is going to continue to rotate, and every time it rotates, you're putting one twist in your line. And pretty soon, at the end of the day, your line's all twisted. Now, there's an easy solution for that. Take everything off your line, put your line out behind the boat, let all the line off the reel, let it in a moving boat, and let it kind of sit back there for a bit. All the twist will go out of the line, reel the line back up. Your line is now twist free and you don't have to ditch your expensive monofilament. So those are my tips. I've got a couple innovative uses for spin and tackle that I'm going to toss out for you guys that like to troll. But before I do that, I want to talk about cost and quality of spinning reels. When it comes to bait casters, I can absolutely feel the difference between a cheap, a mid-priced, and a high-priced bait caster. It's apparent to anybody who picks up those reels without knowing the prices, which reel is the cheap one, the medium-priced one, and the expensive one. Spinning reels, it's a little more subtle, and I'm gonna show you 3 reels right now. This is an Abu Garcia Aura. It's expensive. Forget what these sell for. You know, way over $100. They're very sexy. You know, they've got the great finish, the great look, super smooth, awesome reel. I have total confidence in this reel. But let me show you another reel. This is my tried and true Abu Garcia Cardinal C. Is it a C? No, it's an S. It's an Abu Garcia Cardinal S. It's the bottom end of the Cardinal lineup. This Aura costs about 4 times more than this Abu Garcia Cardinal S. Is it 4 times better? I don't know. I guess yes. It's 4 times as expensive, and there's a reason for that. I'm sure it's 4 times better in terms of construction and components and all that kind of stuff. The Abu Cardinal, standard issue Cardinal S, they've never let me down. What more would I want? Why would I pay 4 times more for the Aura? Abu Garcia sent me this free of charge, as opposed to the Abu Garcia Cardinal S. They both perform very well. I don't know what more you or me, I don't know what more I would want. This reel might offer, you know, more longevity maybe. It might have a better drag system for really, really big fish. But hey, if we're out trout fishing, king salmon fishing, these fish are not gonna make 100-foot long runs. If we catch a spotted bass, he's not going to make a 100-foot long run. So if this reel does indeed have a better drag system, in general trout fishing, we're never going to test it. Spinning reels are simple. They all operate basically the same. You can upgrade the drags, you can upgrade the number of ball bearings, but at the end of the day, in my view, a spinning reel is a spinning reel is a spinning reel. And if you're old like me, you'll remember back in the day at Kmart, they had those blister packs with those little black Shimano spinning reels in them. They had the drag on the back, and they were black. They were like the carbon fiber finish. They were super cheap. If I remember right, they sold for like 10 bucks. Well, I'd buy them for trout fishing. One day I decided I'm gonna take this little spinning reel filled with 4-pound line out on a charter boat. We're going for salmon, and I might just use it. Well, long story short, I hooked what was that? I think it was a 17 or 18-pound salmon on 4-pound test. The fish ran everywhere. I fought the fish. I had a bunch of lines on the fish. The fish ultimately died during the fight. The bottom line is that cheesy, cheap $10 Shimano with the little black case that came in a blister pack from Kmart, not only did it wear that salmon down, it killed him. So what more would I want? So anyway, that's just kind of my little screed on the cost of spinning reels, you know, great spinning reels versus okay spinning reels and stuff like that. So let's talk about how you can use a spinning reel when you're out trolling. And you know, I've been pulling that fish eye camera, or the Go Fish Cam. I keep mistaking it for my Dodgers. But I've been pulling that Go Fish Cam around, and what I've noticed is probably 40% of the time when I hook a fish, another fish will show up behind that fish, all agitated, hot, and ready to strike. Now, that fish will typically hang around for several seconds, and then they kind of fade away. So use number one for a spinning rod on a trolling boat if you are out with a partner. I would have, and when I start trolling out of our big patio boat, now that I see what's going on the camera, I'm going to start doing this too. You want a spinning rod with a little spoon on it. It could be a Trigger Spoon Junior, a small Castmaster, whatever, just a little spoon you can cast. When your buddy hooks up, especially if you're fishing somewhat near the surface, grab that spinning rod and shoot a cast out behind his fish and kind of burn that spoon through the zone. 1 or 2 casts is all it's going to take. You're either going to hook up or you're not. But what I will tell you is that when you're fighting a trout that you hooked while trolling, very often there is a hot trout or multiple trout around that fish and they're ready to go, and you can show them something with a spinning rod, and you know, I anticipate you're going to pick up fish using that technique. I anticipate I'm going to pick up fish using that technique. Now, along those same lines, you've seen me plenty of times out in a kayak where I'll just flip a lure out with my spinning rod. It's just a simple way when you're in a kayak or a canoe or a small craft to get your lure out. You know, you could put out a trolling rod maybe with lead core, and then you could take your second rod, your spinning rod, you whip that spoon out there, let it fall back into your spread, and close the bail, and you are fishing. Pretty simple, pretty easy stuff. In addition to when you're on your big boat and you hook a fish, you should always have that spinning rod there, because you never know when you're going to see a fish break on the surface. Whenever you see a trout or a king break on the surface, if he's within range, you should cast to him. That rod should be sitting somewhere in the back of the boat, armed and ready to rock. You're not going to pull that off with a casting rod, but a spinning rod, you could grab it, make the cast, work the lure, hook the fish. Pretty simple stuff. Another thing you can do when you're trolling is you could take a heavy spoon, a crocodile, speed spoon, a heavy Castmaster, something like that, something that's gonna sink. You can take it, you know, maybe you got your buddy out there, maybe you guys are trolling, 3 total rods, where you grab the spinning rod, cast up towards the bow and out away from the boat. Let that spoon hit and let it sink as you approach. Close the bail on the reel, jig it a little bit as you pass it, and then just put the rod tip down. Allow the momentum of the boat to cause that spoon to start working and to rise in the water column. Do 5 or 6 casts like that every once in a while, and you're going to pick up some bonus fish. I do it all the time. I really like to cast at fish I see breaking on the surface, and if I'm at a high Sierra lake, instead of having a spoon on a rod like this, I might have it rigged up with a one of those clear plastic water bobbers and some kind of fly, because that allows me to cast way farther than I could cast with a spoon, because that water-filled bobber, it's got to weigh upwards of an ounce. So if I see a fish break way over there, I can haul off and get an offering out there, either slow roll it back or just allow the boat's momentum to drag that flying bobber combo around while I shake the rod tip. And if I shake the rod tip, it's going to give that fly that kind of erratic action. That works too. So spinning rods, spinning tackle, spinning reels, they should absolutely be on your boat. They allow you to make presentations that are difficult to make with bait casting gear. A good spinning rod and reel is just going to help you catch more and bigger fish throughout the course of the year. And if you don't have one, you should pick up a travel rod. You can pick up one of mine in the store. Other people offer travel rods. I really like my yellow 3-piece travel rods. You should have one in your vehicle, because you never know. You never know when you're gonna be someplace and you're gonna want to fish. I was getting my truck work done this week, and there's the Auburn NID Canal. It runs right past my mechanic's office, and I did make a few casts with a Panther Martin. I didn't catch anything, but it was nice to break out my little 3-piece yellow rod and make a few casts while my buddy Ross was working on my Suburban. I actually had a little problem with the coolant system. But anyway, bottom line, you should have a spinning rod on your boat. You should have a spinning rod in your vehicle. You should have a spinning rod on hand at all times, because they are very effective fish catchers. You can cast with them, you can jig with them. Very versatile. Mostly they're pretty cheap, so you gotta have one. And I know you have some in your garage. get them on the boat, get them in your vehicle, and get on the fish. I've rambled long enough. I just actually got back from the doctor. Check it out. I got all scratched up here from a, where is it? Right in here. From a cat. Jumped off my shed and scratched my face up. So anyway, it's been a full day. I'm gonna run upstairs and have a sandwich. I'm done for today. You have a great day. If you're looking for gear, if you're looking for spinning gear, trolling rods, trigger spoons, you know, whatever it is, check out my store at fishhuntshoot.com. We've got a lot of quality gear over there that's gonna help you catch a bunch of fish this fall. I'm Cal Kellogg. I'm signing off. I'm gonna be hooking up with Wes Ward tomorrow. We're gonna saw down a tree. So we're gonna shoot some video of that. It should be an absolute comedy. Anyhow, I'm out of here. Have a good day, guys.